Welcome to all to another episode of Live with Panis. Today we have in our company two excellent women professionals. We'll discuss a nice subject that I love: failure, success, lessons learned, and also we'll discuss the Fuckup Nights Limassol. Alla, Reveko, and Maria Sibirtseva, they brought this event a few months ago in Cyprus. It's a global event. They will tell us more as we go. Welcome, Alla and Maria, to Live with Panis.
Hello.
Here I want to say a big thank you to our supporters of the podcast, InfoCredit and Gravity Ventures Incubator and Fund. But let's start. Before we start, I would love to have you to tell us a bit your personal stories, just so also our audience that they're listening, watching, to learn more about you, who you are, and how also did you end up in Cyprus. That will be interesting, I think. So let's start from Alla. Alla, the AK legit fuckupper.
Yes, it's my true original name. So I'm marketing person, and I've been in Cyprus for 7 years now. Actually, in 10 days it will be exactly 7 years in Cyprus. So I'm going to celebrate because this place become very important for me. And all my career happened here, apart from little period of being in journalism back then before Cyprus. So once I moved here, I started to do different offline and online campaigns, paid ads, and everything that is actually related to marketing. And now for a few years, I've been leading different local projects in Limassol. One of them is, I guess everyone knows, is Bottles, Wine and Spirit company. And so now I'm focusing mostly on our fuck-ups events together with Maria. So in short, this is it. And
Okay, Maria, what's your story?
My story is quite similar because I also have a journalistic background, and I used to work for international media, writing articles about art, travel, and lifestyle. And after that, I decided to try myself in copywriting, and I went to work in the IT company. It was almost 6 years ago, and I came there as a junior copywriter, and still I'm working there. And now I'm head of content marketing at Deposit Photos. And at this company happened a lot of very important milestones in my career, and one of them is when I started presenting as a public speaker on stage a couple of years ago. And this lead us, we will maybe later tell the story because it's a big story. One of the presentation lead us to bring in Fuckup Nights to Limassol. And in short, I'm still presenting, I'm still working at Deposit Photos and working with marketing and content, and we're collaborating now with Alla on Fuckup Nights.
Yeah, great. Happy to see people from abroad coming to Cyprus and make Cyprus home. This is what Cyprus is all about. And how did you meet and decided to create an event, about failure, lessons learned, etc. In the past, we organized something similar many years ago in Cyprus, but usually these kinds of events are not so, let's say, in the Cypriot culture. But how did you meet and decide first to create this event? Maria,
this is our favorite story.
Who is going to tell it? Both, I imagine. Maria, we start from you. Yeah.
Yes, I can start. So Alla and I, we were friends before. I moved to Cyprus 2.5 years ago, and we just had a lot of common friends, and we started being friends as well. And the story that we always tell about the fact that coincidences are never coincidences. So I was invited this February to speak at Fuckup Nights Almaty, which is in Kazakhstan. And before the flight, a couple of hours before the flight, I went to the pharmacy. And in the queue in the pharmacy, I met Alla. And Alla was like, "Oh, what are you doing? Where are you going?" I'm like, "I'm flying to Kazakhstan to speak at Fuckup Nights." And she's like, "Oh, amazing, Fuckup Nights. So it's about the failure." Yes, and we had conversation, like 5 minutes of conversation, that Cyprus lacks this type of events now. And a lot of businesses are developing so fast that they need to see different perspectives about how business happens. And like that there can be success stories, failure stories, and this is completely normal. And Alla was like, "Oh, okay, so you go to Kazakhstan, find out the details, and come back." So I came back in 5 days, and the next day we signed the contract with the Fuckup Nights headquarters. And here we go for half a year already.
Yeah, it might sound like it's a very spontaneous decision, but because we both knew our like personal and professional qualities, we had few ideas of what we can do together before. So this event and this franchise was just like something very obvious for us to do, where we both wanted to develop in that direction, and we also love people and love working with people, and where else you can meet more people and like talk to them rather than on the event that you organize yourself. So it was very natural.
Great. It's a great story. A lot of people, they say that success is the sum of your failures and the lessons that you actually learn and out of these failing, let's say, moments. Also, what I believe is that maybe people that have a journalistic background like us, they know that you can meet maybe your probable best cases to places that you don't expect, like the pharmacy. I don't know. I mean, probably only us that we do also a lot of networking events. We understand that no one or an event, everybody is important, or you have these strange moments that become milestones afterwards. How did you? Okay, you're like how many years in Cyprus? How did you identify that there is a need for this kind of event, different event? Yeah.
Because of our work and industry, like we're both in marketing, this industry and profession supposed you to visit many events, many networking events, and we attended many of them, like literally everything that exists in Limassol, at least. Okay, we attending, and we always felt that there is a certain niche, that there is a certain topic that people don't really touch. Either they speak very professionally about certain tools and sources, like in marketing, in fintech or IT, or they share just success stories and they don't mention another story, something that was during their path on the way to success. So we noticed the niche, and yeah.
I also think that we were discussing it together with you, and we paid attention that a lot of events are too serious. Even business events, there is a niche for like networking, which is more chill, where you don't have to wear a white shirt, or you don't have to wear that big badge which says all your credentials, and to make a pitch in 5 seconds. You can just like gather a community of people who are already successful and who want to exchange ideas despite their credentials. And Yeah, it was. We have been discussing many things with Alla for maybe last year. We had different startup ideas that never came true, and then we just felt it intuitively that we need to bring this event because we already were preparing to create something together.
Yeah, and you are absolutely right. Especially in the Limassol ecosystem, the last 2-3 years, we have more events inspiring success, inspiring how to some events, we need more events on the how to actually do some stuff educational. Actually, this is what I see, but because I'm monitoring the Cyprus startup ecosystem that started 10 years ago. When we started the whole community, we actually discuss a lot in events about failure, at least the first 3-4 years. I'm discussing now about around 2015, 13, 2012, that everything started, the startup movement started in Cyprus. We were discussing a lot about this in the events, but for some reason, the last 2-3 years, we never actually did that, and it's something that I liked it a lot, and that's why also we supported the event, and we will support you more to bring more conversation like this out, because if you ask all the entrepreneurs that they have built something, they have failed, they have these are milestones that actually it change your life also. It's not only in your business. Okay, you fuck up in business, but it will affect also your personal life. We in your last event, okay, you did 2 events. Up to now, you're planning a third. In your last event, we have seen an amazing response also from the community. How do you see the response of the startup business community in Cyprus? How do you see the response until now for these kind of events?
It was very positive. First of all, people are always interested. They want to know more details. What is the event? What is the concept? And when it comes to like people attending, it's a huge response. Like people, one event finishes and they're already expecting another one, and the same is with companies and corporates. They want to integrate to our event and have a part in it. I mean, in terms of being a sponsor or just to attend and visit. So it's very, very positive.
I also think that we're breaking some status quo that is in Cyprus with this event for a couple of reasons. First of all, is the catchy naming, because when people just hear Fuckup Nights, they already want to find out more, they make jokes, and it's always on top of the conversation. Secondly, we encourage people to be more vulnerable, and even those people who are not ready to do that, they join our community and they find ways to share their fuck ups as well and to not be so serious about their failures. And yes, as Alla told, we managed to gather such a friendly and open-minded community that even small fuck ups that we have during our events are never considered as something bad. They're considered as a part of a journey, and we always say that we are learning as well during when we create this event. So the response is much more better than we could ever expect.
Yeah, and you're right. Yeah, the fuck up brand it's interesting, the name. Because for example, when I posted in my social media, some people, they were sending me, okay, what is this fuck up night? And because usually I was posting also, photos with women. Everybody went, okay, what is happening? Because there is a lot of people that they know in your profiles, in your social media. I have also people that they are not of the startup community to know what actually these kind of events are. But yeah, I totally agree, and this is also what we do also in Panis startup drinks. We have we connect people only with drinks. We don't. Okay, for us, we don't have presentations. Sometimes I get investors to introduce themselves instead of startups. Because when you go to an event, usually only startups introduce themselves. So when we do at least our events in Panis meetups, sometimes we put the investors to introduce. And actually, it was something different, at least until now. So it worked also. I believe unique events like all these are much better to happen. Okay, can you share some personal fuck-up moments that you had in your journey? It's fast, of course. I imagine we will see you also in a future event, or not, because you are organizers. You cannot. No, see you sharing your fuck-up story in the event, or you don't.
Maybe
plan
it's a good idea.
Yes,
Yeah, it
probably.
is.
Yes.
Okay, you are the organizers, but why not share also your stories?
It feels like a certain responsibility now, because we're asking our speakers to share about their fuck ups, but we have our own fuck ups too. And we had different trials of doing a business as well before, and like we had fuck ups. So it looks like, just to be honest, with our speakers, to be at one point a speaker on the stage as well.
I think we can make a presentation fuck-ups from Fuckup Nights, because this is like an endless list of things that happened to us. So we can have a lot of formats.
Actually, Maria, did you share a fuck-up story? I think in the last event, like a small thing.
Yeah, small. I
Or
had small things here.
in the intro, I think, or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe can share different, or maybe we create an event and we invite you to both to share your fuck ups. Okay, I mean, okay, you have met so many entrepreneurs, maybe also entrepreneurs in Cyprus, also abroad. Why do you think it's difficult to discuss these failures, and how do you think will the events impact all these and change this? Maria, you want to start?
Yes. I think that it's difficult, first of all, because of stereotypes and culture, especially social media culture. We all had this narrative about how important is it to be perfect, and watching other people being perfect from morning until evening. And now when people turn to the more authentic side, they want to see the real life more. And this is why also we want to cultivate the culture of sharing failure in Cyprus, because we have a lot of super successful companies here, a lot of super successful entrepreneurs and people. And what a lot of them lack is this vulnerability and authenticity to show how and what they do on a daily basis, not only the milestones that they reach, but also the difficulties that they fail. And I had a very interesting conversation with one coach who said that when you are not afraid to be vulnerable, you become much stronger than when you're just strong all the time, because you become almost invincible. And this is probably what we want to help people achieve, to become so strong that they can achieve everything that they want, because they know how to be successful, they know how to fail, they know how to be average, they know how to be everything. And they're not afraid to be themselves as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alla?
I agree. I think it's very psychological thing, and I guess entrepreneurs sometimes might be afraid of sharing about their fuck ups because they might think that their product or service won't be that great anymore or won't have that great demand, which is totally not true. Like, personal story has nothing to do with your service or product. If you're doing a great job and you involve, you become better person after your fuck ups. So I think we need to all work on that thing, that our fuck up stories has nothing to do with our service and product that we deliver. It's just our path. So it's really a process of us being more open-minded, more friendly to each other. We are in the close society here in Cyprus, and each other's stories will help us to develop. Like, we won't repeat each other's mistakes. Like, that's one of the reasons and goals why we share about that. Like, if one person did a mistake, I have a chance to learn from that and not to repeat it in my business.
Yeah, actually, you are super correct, because that's also while I was building some of my companies, one of the I was looking in YouTube to find people from the industries that I was building, to see if they share some backup stories, just to get maybe there's something that went wrong for them, might go wrong for me, so I will not maybe repeat it. That's I believe one of the most important things. That's why I was pushing and watching a lot of stories or projects. Actually, Europe has some educational projects about that, to get more to make people like you described, to make them stronger from the lessons that they have learned from personal failures. But before I interrupted you, we didn't share a personal failure that shaped your entrepreneurial journey. I will not forget that. So let's start from Alla. And if you want, I can share my fuck up.
Oh, I got hot a little bit now. Still getting used to the fact that I have to share. Okay, not have to. I want to share about that. I'm actually very proud that at one point of my life, I was thinking to make my small business, which will be related to cosmetic production. It was just right after COVID, beginning of that post-COVID times, and I was very into eco products and everything, and I was thinking that I can do a great product, and found factory. And then when the process was already launched, everything was working, products was almost here in Cyprus, because I wanted to do it in Cyprus and sell them here online. Then I realized that legal stuff, law, accounting, you can't do yourself. Like, I never experienced that, and you need a team. So I failed in that. I had no idea what is law and taxes. So I had to slowly learn that direction. And then I had another attempt, and I was like, okay, first time I failed with the team, so now I need a team. So I found partners who ended up leaving Cyprus because of their personal reasons. And we also realized that our professional experiences not aligning, it's not enough. Like, you need to have not only marketing, which I was covering, but other, like, legal partner or someone who is very good in accounting. So and I failed here again because of the wrong team. So, but I learned from that, which I think now I'm succeeding, because I found my best partner. Like, we are very aligned, and we have very good ability of sharing tasks that we have here in Fuckup Nights. So now, from these two fuck ups, I learned that team is great. You have to have team if you want to reach certain level. You can't do it alone, but you need right persons next to you.
Yeah, there is a saying: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to build something meaningful and long term, you need a team. Maria, yours, and I will share mine after.
I had also a lot of fuck-ups. I will quickly share small ones, and then I will tell a major one that influenced also where I am today. So at some point, because I come from the family of entrepreneurs, I always thought that I need to have my business, and maybe every year until the last couple of years, I've been doing that. So I had a website, like a blog with a very bad monetization model, where I had to read books and be paid for reading books. And then I was writing reviews. And at some point, I had so many requests to read books, and I realized that it takes all of my time, and I can't do this anymore. So I closed that website, and I went to look for a real well-paid job. Another attempt was when I decided to create a series of postcards, and I hired an illustrator, and I invested a lot of time in finding very high quality printing materials and everything, and then no people purchased my postcards. I printed over 3,000 packs, and they are still standing in my parents' garage for 5 or 7 years already. So after all these attempts, and I had even more of them, I realized that I need more structure, and I need to do much more preparation if I want to launch something, and I want to work with something. So now, as Alla said, we have very good shared responsibilities where I'm responsible for having structure and for integrating the systematic approach into event organization. And Alla is a super creative person who has a lot of amazing ideas, and she can always find something unusual to create, like these ideas for reels that we have on Instagram. They are all by Alla, and they're like one of the funniest that I've seen, actually. And one of the most painful stories that I had was actually 1 year ago when I was invited to speak at one big European conference. And it was not only a conference, but a competition for speakers. And at that time, I have already been speaking for a couple of years, and I was sure that I'm good enough to present. But when I came there and I saw a hall for 500 or 700 people, I saw that the speakers on stage come from all over Europe and the US, and they have been speakers at TEDx, at many, many amazing events already for several times. I realized that my preparation and my self-confidence were not enough. I still believed that I can get in the top 3, but I was actually the last, which was very painful when you think that you will nail it, and you will. And the winner was getting 5,000 euros. So I was already knowing where I will spend them, and I never got anything. So and I had a lot of also feedback about what should I do better in my presentations compared to the speakers. And this is when I realized that speaking at conferences and speaking at events is quite different, because at events you should have a performance, you should be like a showman, showwoman, and you should entertain the audience. And I had a lot of self-reflection about what I can do better. And maybe when I had this request inside myself, I was invited to speak at Fuckup Nights Kazakhstan. And the Fuckup Nights Kazakhstan, it was held in a stand-up show. So if before I always was like in a suit presenting some serious stuff, this time I had to present at 10 p.m. in a stand-up club where everyone's having drinks, where nobody knows me, and I had to be funny because it's a stand-up club and they have this format where everyone should laugh at themselves. So I made a lot of preparation, and after this failure where I was the last speaker of all, I completely changed my approach to how I present on stage, and yeah, I think if not that failure,
yeah, but your okay, it wasn't a stand-up show, but your presentation, it should be like a stand-up presentation, like a comedy.
Yes, it should be like a comedy. And
so they combine, because this is something that I want to do early next year, because we discussed it also with some startups. I want to make an event. Maybe we can do it together. I don't know. That actually you educate the startup founder how to create a stand-up comedy out of his pitch.
Yes.
Pitching his idea, basically, not his story, his idea of the startup on a stand-up format that the people should laugh.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I already have the trainer, actually, that will train the startups. So yeah, if you're interested, that's a proposition. We can do this together. Maybe under the Fuckup Night brand, or maybe even separate something else, because it will be a bit different. I want them to pitch, to get the pitch deck and do it on a. Because I have seen it actually a few years back. I've seen it with a startup that pitched in Startup Battlefield. Okay, it was not a comedy, but they rapped, because it was an AI startup creating sounds, like Deposit but sounds. It was like 7 years ago. And they actually, I think they won the Startup Battlefield of Disrupt London. They went on stage and they rapped the whole pitch. It was like fucking amazing. They made a rap song. They made the whole pitch deck on a rap song, and everybody was, it's something that nobody expected. Okay, my fuck-up story are a bit similar with yours. Okay, we're in the same industry, I guess. One of the one of the fuck-up stories that I have learned is that you don't go to present if you don't check that the video or presentation you show actually plays before. I had one of the biggest events when we launched this app, Cyprus. It was the biggest blog of Cyprus. We did an event in the back. We had brought Facebook. We brought etc. And I just decided to go up as an organizer, say who I am, who we are, and play a video of 3 minutes. I didn't test it before, and everything went down. The video was not working. Something with the PC, the video was working fine, but they couldn't play it. So I started telling jokes. And 700 people, at least they laughed. And then immediately we went back and we had Facebook presenting. And actually, Facebook on that event presented how they spend. They created an app. At one point, Facebook created an app like, if you remember, Meerkat or Periscope, that was you would be able to live stream through mobiles. At one point, Facebook started to create their own app like this. And they had a major fuck up of millions. And out of that, Facebook live stream came, actually, their best feature, the best feature. And we have the story that the guy that actually managed all this, when we brought Facebook, he told this story. Actually, I have the video. Back then, I couldn't post it due to copyright. But now I don't think we'll have a problem. Maybe we show it in some day. And we bring again Jonas to tell us the story.
Amazing. That would be very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very interesting. They liked it. Also, in the audience, we had also a lot of educators. I mean, teachers, etc. We had 700 people in the University of Technology, and they liked a lot. It was something different for them, sharing that. Another story is I started my own digital agency on 2002. I was trying to sell advertising in Cyprus around 2003. I was like ahead of my time 10 years. And also I thought that I will make a digital agency that would be only me, and then I will outsource everything else to India, to other. Yeah, okay, that was a major I lost also a few money, a lot of money, but okay, at one point I had some clients and I sold them to another agency, and then I went into the Forex industry actually to work. Okay. The other fuck up is that I created I got a loan and created a lot of my football team. I used to have a big blog, 10,000 visitors every day, and I was running that with my own funds. I never monetized it, of course. And actually, I'm paying right now the loan that I took for this project. I publish monthly magazines, print magazines. Okay, I did what I was loving to do, sport journalism back on the days, etc. But okay, it came with a lot of cost, unfortunately. But we have other so interesting things, but that's some interesting Fuckup moments that they help me a lot to learn. Okay, some people that when I share my photos about Fuckup Nights in social media, etc., they told me, "Can you recommend us to become a speaker?" So, how do you select speakers for Fuckup Nights, and what actually qualities do you have the speakers telling their story? You evaluate that. How do you select speakers? Do you have a
Now
process, or
people approach us on the street or in some restaurants and parties anywhere, and they're like, I'm a fuckupper. I have so many stories. Everyone's like, the whole Limassol is already wants to be a speaker. And at some point, we were at some boat party, and people started coming all the time, and we were so tired that we asked them to do elevator pitches on the boat, so we can choose who will be next. But jokes aside, it's for us it's a more serious the process than I just described. First of all, the choice of speakers based on our with Alla personal experience, because we've been in journalism, we've been in marketing, and I have been speaking a lot. Alla has also speaking experience, and we know that how it is important to have public speaking skills if you want to present on stage. So one of the key criteria for us is for the speakers to have experience in public speaking, so they can make jokes about themselves, they can feel relaxed in front of the crowd, and they can entertain audience in the correct way. Also, we're looking for a lot of contrast. What I mean by this is that we ask those people to become speakers who are already very successful and who have this image that they never failed, or like they're already on the top of what you can reach. And for us, it's very interesting to learn the stories of these people and to showcase to our audience that like these people who are there, they're an average people, and we want to hear all these fuck ups like it was during the last fuck up nights with Martin, or with Stilianas, or with someone else. So we invite successful people to talk. Also, we're looking for interesting personal stories. So people we examine their bio in LinkedIn. We talk to people. So like, for example, we just go to networking parties, or like people approach us and we have calls with them to find out about them more, because we are interested in their stories, and only then we decide whether they will speak at Fuckup Nights or not.
Yeah. Cool. Nice process. And I have some people to recommend you. You can check them out. I can even have their video if you want, that they have done this. And okay, I mean, sometimes when you share the stories, it's a bit some people they might not don't want. I mean, you need to build a supportive environment. So, and I would have said, at least in your event, you have done this, but how did you ensure all the supportive environment for speakers, attendees? You give them drinks to drink from bottle and bottle and others, but how do you ensure a supportive environment so everything happens?
First of all, we in general trying to be very friendly and not very serious. So like when Maria is on the stage and when I'm in the like area with the guests, we always like trying to calm them, relax, make some jokes, smile a lot, but this is like very natural because it's us, it's our character. When it comes to things, materialistic things, the location that we choose for us is very important. We're trying to find a space which won't look very serious, won't make people feel that they need to sit like this in the school. So that's why we don't do this in conference rooms in the hotels. So we want a space in the best scenario, like maybe without walls or with big windows or without the roof. Like in the first location, Cinema Bar, it was like open roof. In the Gazebo Mara second event, no walls, open space on the grass with the sea view, sunset. So we think the location is very important. It gives a freedom space, like freedom feeling. Yeah, I guess this.
And also in terms of speakers, first of all, we provide them with the different manuals because we have a storytelling masterclass. We also have a speaker's manual on how to speak at Fuckup Nights. So we equip them with important information that they need to tell their story. And also we are always online to support them or to give them advice if they have some questions about presentation, and we can even help them design a presentation. We had cases where we went to the beach to create a presentation with the speakers or to their office, or we did it online to help. So we are open to collaborating and to making the process of speaking as easy and fun as it can be.
Okay, great. Okay, if we also the academic process or the in general the scientific process and the innovation process has a lot of trial experiments, failing until you find, let's say, the best MVP as a startup that you are going to approach people to buy the product from you. How do you think all this acceptance of failure contribute to innovation, to creativity in entrepreneurship? Maria?
I think I think it's in general just opens our minds when we don't feel scaredness of failure and don't make these borders in our heads. We become more creative, fearless, more ideas that are out of the box coming to our heads. So I think once you don't scare, you're not scared, more ideas come to your head and like means the progress happens.
I agree with Alla, and also I want to come back to Panis, exactly the wording of your question. You asked how failure contributes the creativity, and I think that failure is what creates creativity, because after you failed, you have to look for ways to come out from this fuck up. And we've had it even during the organization of Fuckup Nights, when we had some fuck up and we had very few hours to fix it. And we were brainstorming and coming up with some crazy ideas on how we can solve the situation or what we can learn from this fuck up. So it's directly what fosters creativity, if of course you're not scared to learn from it or to make another step. It's also something that allows people to try more and to move more confidently through their life, because when you make fuck ups and when you have failures, you are closer to finding a better solution than those who don't try. So those who have more failures will probably become more successful if they try again than those who tried just one time and stopped. So
Yeah, and actually, this is what's the mentality in countries like US, Europe in general, and society. European societies are not like this. We go to school and we learn. The school learns for us that we need to always try to be successful, don't fail, and this is the mentality. Also, the education system, at least in Europe, pushes, and it's the same in Cyprus, and it's the same like close society like Cyprus. What is your suggestion about this? What the societies or the education system or something can do to start changing this? Of course, you are changing this with your event, etc. But if you want to do it maybe on a on a younger age or something, what would be your suggestions on that?
I'm a
Very
huge
good. No. Masha.
Maria, está Maria, and then thank you.
Okay, I'm a huge fan of the book called Emotional Intelligence, and I think that everyone should read it, even like from the younger age until senior age and any kind of age, because this book is what explains you what emotions you have, and even when you fail, how you can navigate this uncertainty that happens during the failure or right after the failure and become stronger. And I think that education of soft skills is extremely important, and sometimes soft skills are even more important than hard skills in the leadership positions or in business or when you're an entrepreneur, because the empathy, your emotional intelligence and understanding of yourself and other people is what will create a better community, rather than just knowing how to do things that already ChatGPT or other neural networks can do.
Yeah, ChatGPT. Alla, want to
Yes.
add something?
It's a very good question and interesting, because we are not parents, but it's interesting how parents sometimes raise their kids, and I have many friends who already has a child, and you can see that some of them are very protective and not really giving an opportunity for kids to explore the world, and some of them gives the opportunity to like fall and explore it. So I think in schools it's also very important for parents, like, yes, be with the discipline, make them learn structure, but give an opportunity to explore lessons that they like, and not to push too much maybe in some subjects that are not in their interest, and just give that freedom of developing in the direction which is the most interesting for them. So be more relaxed, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, you know what I remember right now, what you're saying. There is a TikTok video of the wife goes and finds the husband with the kid. He provided the kid, this the flower, and the kid wanted to go to snow, so he made the whole kitchen with the flower, and the kid was making, and the kid was playing with the flower, the kid liked this. I mean, this is what I remember.
Yeah, everything starts from a very early age.
Yeah. Okay. During the conversation, you offer some advice, but in your opinion, tell me what is the most important advice you want to give to other fuck-uppers like you? Alla, is that from you or Maria?
I'm thinking now. It's hard to give advice, some pieces of advice to other people. Need to be careful. Sometimes you need to let people experience the lessons that they need to learn. But sometimes intelligence and wish to explore stories of other people who already did mistakes and like businesses in this whole world will help a lot to develop their idea. So I guess to explore more, research more, try more, find more support in people which surround you, your friends, your family, because support, we are very social, and if we have people around us who support the idea, it's very important. We also have our friends and families who initially, without knowing what is Fuckup Nights, supported us a lot, and when you just at the start, it brings you confidence. I will think on something else.
Yeah, I mean, okay, what you have said is very actually important. I mean, it's not nothing beats the lessons that you have taken from a major fuck up. It's not about hearing or watching, etc. If you don't fuck up your own, and that's what I have learned at least the last 40 years that I live in this in this planet. Maria, you want to share something?
Yes, of course. For me, one of the things that I realized recently is that self-love is extremely important for people, for anyone, and especially for people who want to stop being afraid of fuck-ups, because the most important part of a fuck-up after fucking up and standing up is to follow the conversation that you have with yourself until you start trying again. And you have two ways. You can become criticizing and you can go in a negative pattern towards yourself and towards the world. Or you can encourage yourself, you can encourage other people and promote, first of all, healthy relationship with yourself, where you will, first of all, understand your fuck up, accept it, and start looking for ways on what you can do differently, and care for yourself as well after you have fucked up, because we are all adults, and when we were children, our parents could have cared about us, or maybe we have friends and a lot of support, but we shouldn't forget that also we should be our own support, and we should be the standing ground that helps us move forward all the time. And I think that once you understand that, you have so much power in standing up and going forward every time you fail.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, okay. You did 2 events. You're going for the third one. What are your plans for the future for Fuckup Nights Limassol? We'll see Fuckup Nights move also to another city, or maybe a kids' night. We can do a kids' night. Kids will tell us some nice fuck-ups. They have them. What are the future plans, and how do you envision growing the event and maybe also the cause?
Maybe for kids we will have to change the name.
Yeah.
Include the word fuck up, but other than that, it's a great idea.
No, plans are actually big. Apart from this third event in November, We will have another one this year, and then we will go for our second year. And we have big plans on doing events separately in terms of, outside of our location. For example, we do different panel discussions in the future, and we will plan to do different networking events. So we already feel the need from community of additional discussion of failure and fuck-ups, and they want to communicate more, meet more. So we will try to extend this franchise into different discussions, networkings, events in the future.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Many thanks. Many thanks for coming to Live with Panis.
Thank you to you.
Having you here. Good luck with the whole event that you're planning. I'm sure they will be successful, like the previous ones. Anything last to mention that we didn't mention, or something else? Last comments before we close the podcast? Alla?
No, it was great. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting our project and making this interview with us. For me personally, it's my very first experience being in podcast, so I'm very excited. Probably will be excited whole weekends now. For Maria, it's totally different. She's hosting her own podcast, so she's more experienced than that, but I'm just simply feeling very grateful. Thank you.
Yes, Pani, thank you so much. It was a very interesting conversation, and we hope to have more such conversations in Cyprus and in Limassol. And maybe to wrap this all up, we can say that don't be afraid to fuck up. It's a part of a journey. So
no risk, no fun.
Risk, no fun.
No risk, no fun. Yes.
Thank you guys watching or listening. In which channel you had your Live with Panis. As the girl said, no risk, no fun. Thank you a lot for watching. Share this, send it to friends so they can watch this podcast. Follow us in all the platforms that we are. Thank you.